for this weekend, we're to have Frank DeFreitas, one of the world's leading holographers, with us. He visits us every couple of years to give a very special lecture on holography. He is so good that the Tsar of Russia, the time when Russia had a Tsar, they photographed the diamond pectoral, which is one of the world's greatest treasures. A whole assemblage of diamonds around a natural cut in biotite or a special formation that has the impression of the emperor kneeling before the cross. So that is the greatest treasure of Russia, even today, even in communist Russia. So Frank DeFreitas is so good, they permitted him to have one of the 3 copies of that ever made. And one of those, by the way, he gave to us, and it's upstairs. So if we can cut the lecture short. However, Frank is getting a bit of age on him, and with COVID, travel is difficult. So he's determined he's not going to travel anymore, and therefore we were not able to have him with us. He lectures every year at the Smithsonian on holography. He's a world-class scholar, a friend of this museum. So I'm filling in for him today. And I've known for 3 months that I was to fill in, so we have a special lesson on light anyway. The light that he was going to describe to us is holography, where in a hologram, if you have an image this large, you can look around each side. And if you cut it in half, you still have all of the image. Look around both sides. No matter how small you cut it, all of the image is still there. Which leads me to this. If I can finish the lesson on time, you may want to look at the world's smallest Bible. You will see 2 of them. Number 1, you will see one that's 1 1/4 inches by 1 inch. It was produced in the 1960s by the National Cash Register Company and is termed the world's smallest Bible. And it has been distributed by the hundreds of thousands worldwide. With a 100-power microscope, you can read it. Every little speck is a chapter in the Bible. I've preached a sermon from that with a microscope, reading it through a microscope. And that's neat, but that's not the smallest one. He lived in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania with his studio and his laboratory. He traveled to the Smithsonian and New York and et cetera, for lectures. And he asked me to come up to see him. So I flew up to see him, and he showed me what he had produced. The entire King James Bible, about 5 or 6 centimeters in dimension. The whole King James Bible, that big, the whole thing. I drooled over it. He said, "Okay, my friend, I will cut this in half. I will have the whole Bible. You will have the whole Bible." So he mailed it to me to demonstrate that with holography, we could simply send a postcard anywhere in the world and get any message across that we want with holography. So when you look at the display, look at one that is now 3 centimeters by 4 centimeters, and it is the postage stamp has a little white section peeled back. It's on the left side of that peeled back section. It is the whole King James Bible. And there are only 2 of them in the world. And we have one. So who has the other? The man who made it. The man who made the hologram, Frank DeFreitas.